This is the worst ASMR video ever. You can't trust a Southerner to ever do anything quietly. Hi, everybody. It's Ginger Minj, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. Well, I'm here, and it's lovely here, but I'm excited that you're there, and then we get to be together to celebrate my brand new book, Southern Fried Sass. Now, I know there's been a lot of questions online about where you can get an autographed copy of this book, and guess what? You can get one right here. That's right. I'm going to be signing these copies of these books right here today with my handy dandy gold Sharpie. That's how you know it came from today. It is gold, solid gold for you out there. And I know there's also been some questions about what is this book? First of all, it's beautiful. It's heavy. It's got very nice paper. And believe me, I had to pay extra to make sure you got this gorgeous paper. But it's chock full of stories, recipes, gorgeous photographs. Of course, the way I'm flipping through this right now, you can't see any of the pictures. Hold on. I'm going to make this happen. Oh, okay. It's still not helping. Okay. Gorgeous photographs that are brand new in this book. 50 recipes, over 100 pictures altogether, and it's got some piping hot tea out there for all of you Drag Race fans, some things you may have never even heard of before. And so we're very excited to share this. Southern Fried Sass, it's a silly title, of course. I think it really kind of encapsulates who I am, this book and that title. It's a little bit silly. It's a little over the top. It's covered in glitter and then deep fried into a beautiful, greasy little ball. Just Joey and beautiful on the inside. This book right here is my life story. And when I was writing it, I sat down. I didn't set out to do any kind of cooking element. Let me just be very clear with you about that. I oh, there's music coming from outside. I love it. No, this is wonderful. It feels like an underscore, like I'm going to tell an ominous story. Oh, wait, never mind. It's not from outside. That's Law and Order SVU from the other room over there. I don't need that underscore in any of my stories because there's enough trauma dumping in this book already. So I sat down to write my life story, and I was like, if I can write about anything, it better be myself because I lived through it. I thrived through it. I won't say I survived. I thrived. What's that from? That's a movie. It's a TV show. I don't know. You can tell me in the comments. I didn't survive. I thrived. Whatever. Anyway, I couldn't find a way into the story. I couldn't figure out how to say what I wanted to say. And then after my grandmother passed away, she was my hero, and she was the type of superhero that, she wouldn't swoop in and save you, but she would give you the tools to learn how to save yourself, which I think is like the most important thing you can give somebody, or the tools that are going to help them survive. And after she had passed away, she didn't have a whole lot in her life. She had her prized possession, though, which was her recipe box. And she left that to me. And it really pissed off and upset a whole lot of other people in my family. So, being the kind Southern woman that I am, I decided to spread that wealth and share it with some of the other people who wanted the recipes. And as myself, my sister, my Aunt Glenda Faye, and my mama were sitting around going through this recipe box, I realized that every recipe card that I pulled out had a story attached to it. And those stories were very personal. And sometimes they were sad, sometimes they were funny, sometimes they were just kind of run of the mill, but it was nice to hear them again. And then I realized my stories didn't always mirror theirs. Theirs didn't always mirror mine. Sometimes they knew stories for recipes I'd never even heard of in my life. And I thought, well, food has always kind of been my love language, I mean, obviously. And then I thought about, how I travel the world and I meet all sorts of people. And sometimes, you know, you may not be able to communicate verbally with somebody because of a language barrier, but you can always learn so much about them and who they are and their culture by the food that they share with you. And I thought, what is more universal than food? So that was kind of my aha moment, my jumping off point, and that's where I started approaching my life story from. Was where I was when I ate this and how it makes me feel, or why I always go back to this recipe if this has happened and I'm feeling this kind of way. And it honestly, it helped me open up a lot more and share a lot more in this book than I think I would have if it was just a straightforward memoir. I love saying that word, memoir, memoir, memoir. My name is Memoir, so call me Memoir. I mean, that's not my name. My name is Ginger Minj, but it's printed clearly all over this book right here. So anyway, that was my end. And I really spilt the tea and shared things in this book that I've never even shared with my therapist. So there's a lot of heavy reading here. I'm a heavy gal, heavy meals, heavy reading, and it's all so much fun. And it is all inside this very heavy, very gorgeous, absolutely beautiful book. Look at the back right here. That's my granny, and that's me. Cute little me. Look at that. Don't look at my fingernails. I did not put them on because I knew I had to flip through pages. And guess what? It still didn't help me flip through the pages. That's a ham right there. That is not me, but I did make that ham. Yeah. Some Dolly Parton stuff, some pot roast, some cupcakes, which in this book, I call them drag queen muffins. And they are just kind of cupcakes, but the way that the recipe is kind of formulated, and this is my granny's recipe, you can make it into anything that you want. And I think that that's what drag is all about. You kind of take what's in front of you and you figure out what's going to make it its most fabulous, and then you just put it all in and mix it up. So that's exactly what my drag queen muffin cupcakes are about right up there. We have the poison apple fizz cocktail, which is perfect for the holidays. And speaking of the holidays, I should have pre-marked this page. You didn't give me much room with this microphone.
Page 73.
73. Well, I'm not good at numbers either. I'm very dyslexic. But you can read about that in the book. 73. Oh, no, it wasn't. It's 74.
Oh, well,
You crazy. Anyway, ba-bam! Right here, there's a whole chapter. Oh, can you still hear me? Can you hear me? Please, I don't want to lose you. There's a whole chapter right here called Holiday Magic. First of all, look how gorgeous that photograph is. That is absolutely beautiful. And every dish that you see on this table, well, not the dish, but the things inside of the dishes on this table, the recipes are laid out in this chapter called Holiday Magic. It's all about how when I was younger, I really craved the ritual of a holiday. I wanted holidays to be so perfect, and they never were. And I thought that maybe it was something that was wrong with me, why they always went to hell. But then I got older and I started getting invited to other people's holidays and realized they were just as dysfunctional as mine was. So this chapter is about putting the fun in dysfunction and learning how to celebrate in your own way. And it doesn't matter what you celebrate, as long as you find the people that make you feel the best, you invite them over to your house so you are in control, you're in the driver's seat, and then you can steer your way to a happy, happy holiday or holiday, whatever you want. So it talks about all that kind of stuff in here, but I want to get to the recipe real quick. There's a whole section on why to throw a potluck. Oh, so we've got Grandma eats the Super Sunday Spuds, which are the creamiest, yet lumpiest, yet most delicious mashed potatoes ever. We have, here's the list right here of everything. CJ's Seriously Good Turkey. That's my husband, CJ. He's right over there behind the camera. The camera, which is just an iPhone. Yeah. Tips of the trade. Good Gravy, which is the gravy that comes from that Seriously Good Turkey. And honestly, when I was growing up, I'm from the South. They always tried to do the deep fried turkey. And I found that to be, not to be offensive to anybody out there who enjoys that, I always found it to be overcooked on the inside and the outside. It was never juicy. Like everybody always said, oh no, you get this and you deep fry it and it's so moist and so tender. It was not. That was like beef jerky on bones. And I don't want to add bones to my beef jerky. So this is like the most tender, delicious, flavorful turkey that I've ever had. The gravy, So good paired with it. Sweet potato casserole. That is from my granny's recipe box. Mama Minj's savory cornbread stuffing. My mama is the type of woman that could burn water. She is not a good cook, but somehow she managed to come up with an actual award winning stuffing that people, well, I call it stuffing, but it's really dressing, because we don't put it in the bird. You just put it on the side, but you can call it whatever you want because it's yours. You're making it. But she created this all from scratch. It's like a 2-day process, and I've never tasted anything quite like it. It's so good. She ends up making trays and trays and trays of it to send out to all the neighbors because now that they've gotten wind that she has this award-winning stuffing dressing recipe, they are very much upset until they get their own taste of it. The whole neighborhood's trying to taste Mama Minja's stuffing. Brussels sprouts with bacon. I know a lot of people don't like Brussels sprouts. These are really good. They're savory, they're sweet, they got some crunch, and they have bacon. You can't go wrong with bacon. Tia's corn casserole, light and fluffy. Darian Lake actually made the corn casserole the other day, and she posted the results on Instagram. Looks so good. I'm a little jealous because hers look even better than mine did in the book. Like, mine looks good and mine tastes good, but hers look kind of perfect. So go check that out. A pumpkin spiced old fashioned. So that's real good. You don't even have to go to Starbucks to get your PSL. Well, I guess PSOF. Mac and cheese 3 ways, because why eat it just one? You can have it all 3 ways. Cousin Jamie's banana pudding, and that is banana pudding, not banana pudding. Who says that? Ugh. Kick-ass cranberry sauce. A lot of people, they buy the stuff in the can. That's delicious. I love that ocean spray, and they get the Jello jiggler. But there is nothing as delicious as a homemade cranberry sauce. Have them both. People are going to try both of them. This recipe is really, really simple to make, and it tastes really, really good. And then, of course, Aunt Glenda Faye's famous fruit salad. Yeah, because we're Southern. We'll call anything a salad as long as you put mayonnaise in it. So I know you noticed there's not really any desserts in this chapter. That's because there's an entire chapter, a few pages down, that are all desserts. It's called Just Desserts. It's called Put a Cherry on Top. Yeah, we changed it to Put a Cherry on Top because we thought cherries were cute, and I'm wearing a cherry outfit. But there's like over a dozen dessert recipes in there. I'm going to sign this one right here. I don't know who it's to, so I'm just going to sign my name. And then I think we're going to take some questions from all of you out there. I know I've been jacking my jaw, bumping my gums, running my mouth over here. But now it's time for you to tip tap type away. Hold on. Oh, wait. Up. Look how beautiful. How gorgeous that is. And that can be sitting on your shelf. Not only is this a good book for you to have yourself, it makes a great holiday gift for everybody out there. And I only know that because I have gotten hundreds of messages already that said, everybody in my family is getting this as a Christmas gift, as a Hanukkah gift, as a this, that, and the other gift, as a just because I love you gift. And it's really beautifully done. I feel like I can say that because I didn't personally print the books or put them together, So they have done an absolutely gorgeous job of putting this book together. Can I be completely honest with you for just a second? I don't like the cover of this book that much. I think it's okay, but I don't think it's as pretty as every other picture in the book. And maybe that's because it's the one I've seen the longest. But, like, come on. Look how cute that is. Look how gorgeous that is. That's my favorite. Oh. And then, of course, I flip to the next page. I'm like, oh, I hate that picture. This one's my favorite now. But they can all be your favorite. You can collect them all right here in one place. It's a Poke Your Mom.
Ginge, while you sign that, we had some questions that people submitted prior to going live tonight. The first question I have here is from Sue from Las Vegas, Nevada.
I just was in Las Vegas yesterday. I wasn't performing, Sue, so don't be like, oh my God, I missed you. No, I was workshopping a brand new show out there. can't tell you anything about it except maybe I'm going to come live out there with you for a little bit, Sue. Literally at your house.
Well, how funny. That actually leads into the question, which is, when will you be coming to Vegas for a show?
Oh, well, hopefully if all goes planned, I'll be out there next year for a long time. So we'll see. I don't know, but I am coming to stay at your house, Sue. Just so you know.
The next question is from Christy from Rochester, New York.
Ooh, I love Rochester. We were literally just talking about Darien Lake.
Yeah.
And of course, Mrs. Kasha Davis posted she got her copy. I sent her a copy, but she couldn't even wait for it. She went out to the bookstore and bought her own copy and then got the copy that I sent her as well. I said, she's going to double fist it. Well, the recipes, the reading, I don't know. Maybe she wants to read the recipes and the stories at the same time.
Hey, that's a good idea. So buy 4 copies.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's what I was saying. So yeah, buy a copy for yourself. Buy a copy as a gift for somebody who would enjoy it, whether they're a cook or a drag fan or they just like pretty pictures. I don't know. But also buy a copy for somebody who wouldn't necessarily ever want to read this book. I know that sounds funny, but this is an authentic queer story told from an authentic queer perspective. It's very it's emotional, of course, to go through these stories and to talk about it. But what I learned was that there's such a power in communication. And I mean, I learned that before I even started writing this book, or even from being on Drag Race and sharing little bits and pieces of my story with the world. I have learned that when people can see themselves reflected back at you, suddenly it's not as scary for you or for them or for anybody, because there's something that's shared there. There's moments that are shared. And when I was growing up, I didn't have anybody that looked like me or sounded like me or talked like me or acted like me or anything. So I felt very lonely. I felt very alone, very unseen, very different, very weird. And I guess maybe that's the definition of queer, because queer means different. And then I get to turn around and be on TV, and all these other people who are like me and feel that way, they see me and they see themselves reflected. So I think that even with people who are completely against drag queens or queer people or all that we do and stand for, if somehow we can get a story like this into their hands, if we can get them to read even a little bit of it, they're going to realize that we all have a lot more in common than we do differences. And that's probably not the best way to say that, but I do think that most of the time, 9 times out of 10, we've all gone through the same experience, even if the story is a little bit different. So I sent a whole case of these to Ron DeSantis's office, and yeah, I mean it's a great stunt to do that. But I also had high hopes that maybe it would trickle down into the hands of some people who could really benefit from reading a story like this and realizing that we're human, we're people, we make mistakes, we're not perfect, but we're doing the best we can, just like everybody else. What was the question from Rochester?
Christy was asking.
So sorry.
I love your music and was wondering what your process of songwriting is like.
Well, if you can tell, I definitely have ADHD. So all of these little thought bubbles pop up into my head, and then I'm literally just chasing them around my brain. They don't always make sense in the order that I catch them. And songwriting is much the same way. It starts with a whole lot of thoughts. And I've also learned, being a musical theater baby my whole life, I learned that whenever emotions are so heightened, if you can't say it, you sing it. Because there's already like a drama and an emotional attachment to a song. Music makes you feel a certain way. And it can make you feel any way in the world. It also can make the people come together, as I've learned from Madonna. I mean, not her personally, just her albums. She doesn't invite me on tour. Maybe we'll tag her in this videotape right here. See what I'm talking about? I get distracted and I move on to the next thing. So anyway, I figure out like kind of when I'm cooking, what I'm feeling in the moment, what I'm trying to say, what emotion I'm trying to swim through. And then I make the little thought bubble notes about all of it and then try to connect the dots. And then I get out the rhyming dictionary and make sure that I'm choosing the best words possible. Because words are important and words hold a lot of power and they have a lot of impact, which I learned from my grandmother. My grandmother, she had a 6th grade education, and she was very embarrassed about that, to the point where she made it her life's goal to learn as much as possible. And that included like getting her hands on every copy of the encyclopedia, reading them from cover to cover, learning all about the world, making sure she read the newspaper every chance that she got. She was always up to date on current affairs, the TV show back when that happened, and also, regular current affairs. And she also took a lot of pride in the way that words are spelled. She took a lot of pride in people's names and her handwriting. And she really, she drove that home with me to the point where, I don't know, is the building falling down? I hope not. It's a nice building, but we're on the top floor. So if we're going down, I'm yelling timber. So anyway, I take a lot of pride in words, the way I use them, and particularly in my handwriting, which you can tell because look how cute that is. I hope that answers your question.
The next question comes from Kendall from Arizona.
Kendall from Arizona. I went to Arizona a few times. I had a great time. Of course, that was back when I was hosting the Haters Roast. That was the infamous Derek Barry drunken meltdown on stage, was in Arizona. But what I have noticed is that every time I'm there, I get a nosebleed.
Really?
Because it's so hot and it's so dry. Knock on
marble
laminate. This ain't marble. Don't fool yourself. This is old laminated concrete right here. I've never anywhere else in the world, under any circumstances, have I gotten nosebleeds. But every time I'm there, I literally just step off the airplane and it just goes boop.
My favorite part about Arizona is the iced tea.
Yes, I like that it's 99 cents. They said inflation be damned. We're still 99 cents.
But Kendall asked, have you always loved cooking? What's been your favorite recipe lately?
Okay, first of all, Kendall, that is 2 questions, but it's fine because I have time. I got time today. Why'd you open it to this chapter?
It's my favorite photo.
Oh, this is your favorite photo? You want me to show it off? Look how cute that is. It's not my favorite. It's not mine. It's fine. It's pretty, but it's not my favorite. You want to know what my favorite is?
While you look, can you continue answering Kendall's question?
No, because I'm going to get distracted. I will get there, Kendall, I promise. But I want you to have my undivided attention. Where's that picture?
What picture?
No, I'm not telling you. I want you to be like, oh, yeah. That's the one.
I bet I can guess.
Bet you can't.
Is it that one?
Ew, gross. No. Not gross.
What a conversation.
I know. I just like to make people laugh. All right, hold up. Where is it?
Is it this one?
No. 'Tis not that one.
Can you tell me which chapter it is?
No, because if I knew, I wouldn't be flipping through the wrong side of the book.
Oh my gosh.
Hold on, we're going to get there.
It's not the bed one, right?
No.
I like that one just because of Jack.
I know. So, Jack, there's 2 bulldogs in the book. No, it's not that one. And one of them, his name is Jack, and he had an obsession. Every time that I would put on anything fluffy, like with a crinoline or tulle or anything like that, he would just lay on it. So there's a picture of me in a wedding gown that he's laying on it, so I can't even stand up. And picture of us when I was in bed, he just hopped up there and put his feet in my shoes. He was so sweet, but then he passed away. It was very sad. This is my favorite photo. right here. Because it makes me feel like Dolly Parton in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Right there.
Avery said she doesn't even know which one is her favorite.
Yeah, because they're all so good. They're all so good. So all right, so I'm going to answer the question now from Kendall in Arizona. And that question was, have I always enjoyed cooking? Yes, I have always enjoyed cooking because to me it's a lot like drag in the sense that the way I learned to cook from my very Southern granny was not like a science, like my husband over here, he's a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America. So is Anne Burrell, who's hosting this the Talkback book event with me in Chicago tomorrow night. I'm a huge fan of hers, but I've learned that when you go to school for something like that, it's all about the checking the boxes and making sure that the science is there and the math equations work out. In the South, we just kind of cook how we feel. And my granny's way of cooking, the way she taught me, is you open up the pantry or you open up the refrigerator, you see what you've got to work with, and then you figure out what goes with what and make something from there. It's a lot more creative. You got to get creative sometimes because your resources aren't always the best. And that at least describes my kind of drag where, I didn't have a whole lot of resources when I started. I don't have as many now as a lot of other girls do. But I always look at what I've got, figure out what I like, what in my mind goes together, and then make it work from there. It's the most creative and fun way to cook. And then my favorite recipe, the chicken and dumplings in this book. They are so good, and they are unlike any chicken and dumplings I've ever had anywhere else. They're a lot heartier. There's something that you can have just by themselves. And I'm not talking like you go to the Cracker Barrel and they offer it as a meal all in and of itself. That's not a meal. That's still a side because there's not a whole lot to that dish. But the version in here, just make that and eat it right out of the pot. Just put the pot on the table. Put a pot holder down because you don't want to scorch anything, but wait for it to cool and then just everybody dig in. Not with your hands. That would probably be gross. I don't know. You do what you want. It's your family.
And then the second part of that question was, what's your favorite recipe lately?
That's what I said. The chicken and dumplings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kendall.
The recipes do change for me because again, I'm an emotional eater and I have all the emotions. I'm an actress, damn it. I know. But as my mood changes, again, so do my tastes and recipes and all that. But to me, like the chicken and dumplings is kind of the go-to because whether I'm happy or I'm sad or I'm hot or I'm cold or I'm this or I'm that, it always tastes good and it always just makes me feel really warm. Must because I don't wait for it to cool off. So it burns me from the inside out.
Natalie
Imbruglia.
Natalie from North Carolina.
Oh, Natalie from NC
asks, when life feels mundane.
Wait, hold on. I lived in North Carolina for 3 months. I lived in Morehead City, North Carolina. And I moved out because it did not live up to the name. But no, I did live in Morehead City for a couple of months. I was staying with a very good friend of mine. This is many, many years ago. One of my best friends when I was growing up. She moved there with her grandparents, and I missed her so much that I decided to move there with her. And then my parents were like, you should probably come home at some point. And it took me a while, but I did. Anyway.
Natalie asks, when life feels mundane, how do you spice it up and spark joy in your life?
When life feels mundane, how do you spice it up and spark joy? That's a great question. And honestly, if you read the book, all will be revealed because it's a lot. It's a lot to really go into, but it's a long way of explaining. It's all about the mindset. You choose. What are you doing?
Sorry.
What are you doing down there?
My pretzel dropped.
Pretzel? Where'd you get a pretzel? They're holding pretzels out on me. It's a Schneiders of Hanover. It's not a
It's a sourdough nibbler.
No, but it's not a honey mustard one.
Oh my god! Those are my favorite.
Oh, those are good.
Didn't have those at the airport.
I wish I had the recipe for those. Oh, man.
That sparks the joy.
That sparks joy. No, so when life is mundane, what sparks joy? It's all about deciding what makes you happy and then going for it. Because a lot of times, and I am so guilty of this, I am so guilty of just thinking about the things that I want to do, things that I think might be fun, but then I end up sitting on the couch and watching 20 episodes of Ghost Adventures with my dog and eating pizza rolls because I don't have the motivation. It's all about taking the chances. You know, that's whenever you are cooking, like let's a pot of chili, which I think is in here. I have no, you don't understand. I've been writing this book for 2.5 years. I had 75 recipes. They made me wheedle it down to 50.
Wheedle it down.
But anyway, so when you're cooking a pot of chili,
that is not in the
it's not. So it'll be in the sequel. Yeah. Along with my Schneiders of Hanover, honey mustard pretzel.
Oh, I could have pushed it.
Yeah, thanks.
What? You were talking.
Anyway, when you're cooking a pot of chili, you always have to kind of add the spice to taste because it never tastes exactly the same, even if you measure out exactly the same amount of everything every time. So it's always taking a little bit of risk every time you add a pinch of spice to anything. And that's really kind of a great philosophy in life is you just got to keep adding little tiny pinches of spice until it gets to the level of excitement that you want it to be. That's really the best way to spice up anything is little by little.
Or just add Frank's Red Hot Sauce.
Frank's Red Hot Sauce.
No,
we were always Crystal Hot Sauce.
Oh, yeah. Everyone
Michael is back here, and he keeps running back and forth with this telephone, showing memes and fidget graphs of kitty cats.
No, I shared your Anne Burrell post to my work account. And please take this down.
Oh, thank you very much, Michael. They said take it down.
Yeah, it's not.
It went to his work.
It went to my work Instagram account.
You have a job?
Yes.
Do you have the rent? I'm broke. I wrote a book, so I don't have any money right now. That's why I need y'all to keep buying these, please. Please. I ain't got no money. Anyway.
Speaking of buying.
But 9 times out of 10, Michael's literally running around showing us memes and all sorts of things about cats. This cat's on a motorcycle. This cat's caught in the washing machine. Maybe that video wasn't great. It wasn't great.
If you want to buy it, just click the link that's in the video, y'all.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that was a thing.
That's how you get your signed copy.
Yeah, get your signed copy. Please buy it. Please buy it. It's worth it. I looked on Amazon. Well, somebody had randomly screenshotted and showed me. There's 15 reviews, and they're all 5-star right now. That's fantastic. I'm glad that people are really connecting with this. And people are starting to already tag me in pictures. Oh, excuse me. The Schneiders, it got me.
There's water over there if you want any.
Oh, I don't want this.
Well, what would you like?
I want a Coca-Cola, please.
All right. Well, I'll go grab that while you answer this question.
Wait, hold on. No, what was I saying? I wanted to say this very important thing.
Buying it, Amazon 5 stars.
Oh, yeah. No, so people are tagging me in the recipes that they've made so far, and that is the most exciting thing that I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know I'd get excited about it as much as I do. So when you buy this book, which you can do by clicking the Buy Now button.
It's a link.
A link. It's not a button. It's a link. These are not buttons. Those are linking this together.
Somebody updated, so there's 18 reviews at 5 stars.
18 reviews at 5 stars. That's incredible. But once you buy this, of course, go and leave a review. You can leave it on Amazon. You can leave it on Barnes & Noble. Any bookseller, any book retailer that carries my book. Walmart.
PremierCollectibles.com.
Where?
PremierCollectibles.com.
PremierCollectibles.com. I was getting there. You cut me off.
I just want to make sure you get them all.
Yeah, I can't hear you out this side right here. Anyway, the lights are too hear you. Anyway, tag me in the photos. Send them to me. Even if it goes horribly wrong, which honestly, these recipes are so tried and true, and I have tried to make this book as foolproof as possible. They're not going to go wrong, but if something does, that would be hilarious. So please tag me in that photograph as well. Now, if you happen to burn down your whole apartment, name out of your mouth. Don't drag me into that shit, because I don't have a good lawyer. Right?
All right, let me ask this question to you. Mackenzie in New York?
Mackenzie in New York. Are we talking in the city, upstate? Do we know?
It just says New York.
New York.
They did not specify.
It's fine.
Mackenzie asks, what has been...
Well, I was just going to say, sorry, Mackenzie, we shot a lot of these pictures in White Plains, New York, which is
southern.
Very southern.
Southern Canada. Mackenzie asks, what has been a pinch me moment in your career?
What has been a pinch me moment in my career? This, I always thought that my life story would get told. I just assumed it would be in an episode of Jerry Springer or on a Lifetime movie of the week or something like that. I never thought that I'd have the opportunity to share myself so openly. Oh, that sounds worse than I mean it to. Share my story so openly with everybody out there in the world, whether they choose to take part of it or not. It's such an honor and a privilege for me to be able to do that. But I also think like the biggest pinch me moment in my life was probably my last day filming Hocus Pocus 2. And it was like 4:00 in the morning in Newport, Rhode Island. It was freezing cold in November, and it had been raining a little bit earlier. So, it's like breezy, freezy. Why didn't you just set it over there in the
I didn't think about it.
Okay, branding. Oh, they haven't paid for it, so we'll turn it this way. It does match my outfit, and that's very important.
It is open too.
What?
It's open as well.
Oh, perfect. So it's the last day. It's breezy. It's cold. And they decide that they're going to go for a take of the flying sequence with the three witches. So Kimora, Cornbread, and myself, we're standing kind of on like a little grassy knoll over on the side. And we're exhausted, but we're just having such a good time. And Cornbread and I had already been arrested and detained several times by security for breaking into different parts of the set to take pictures. They literally stole apples from our hands that we had stolen from the Bobbing for Apples bucket. They weren't real. I thought they'd make a nice showpiece, but they took them back. Anyway, so they thought it would be, they were being very generous by letting us watch this, but really I think they just wanted us in a public place where they knew we weren't getting into trouble. So we're all bleary-eyed. We're standing there. Nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden you hear them count out. 3, 2, 1, go. And the three of those witches took off flying over our heads. And it was one of those moments where it was like, like, what is happening? It felt so surreal because Hocus Pocus was such a huge that demographic. I grew up idolizing those women in those roles. And now, not only did they know our names, not only did we get to be a part of cinematic history, of a part of Hocus Pocus, which has become so huge, we got to play those women. We got to be a part of their journey in all of this. And then to see them flying over our heads, that was probably the biggest pinch me moment in my entire life. It was so cool. I can't even think about it now without getting a little teary-eyed.
Thanks, Mackenzie.
Yeah, they did say they were doing Hocus Pocus 3. I think it needs to be all about the drag queens. Just bring us back. Maybe we're the ones summon the witches back, and then we steal their clothes because theirs were better than ours, and we make them dress up as drag queens, and then see how it is to dance around dressed like them for the entire Halloween season for $5 here and there. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're going to take over all of Salem.
Cameron from Chicago.
Hi, Cameron from Chicago.
Asks, when you're cooking or in the kitchen in general, is there a go-to song that you song like to play?
Not necessarily a song or an artist. To me, it's all about 90s country because that's kind of what we listen to. Well, 90s and before. If it's like a Dolly Parton or a Tanya Tucker, we'll go all the way back to the beginning of their musical catalogs. My granny's favorite thing, she had this record that she would put on every Sunday when she was cooking and cleaning in the morning. And it had Just Because I'm a Woman by Dolly Parton, which was so interesting because that's the song at the last second they changed my solo song to in Dumpling. And they were like, you're probably not going to know this, but try to learn this. I know you've only got like 2 hours. And I heard the very first note and I went, oh, I know this. I know this like the back of my hand. So that was on there. Delta Dawn by Tanya Tucker, which was my favorite that she would play. It just, that's such a good song. Down, what's that flower you got on? And I got to meet Tanya Tucker and Dolly Parton, both at different times, not at the same time. I don't think my little gay country mind could take that. But anyway, so we would listen to that a lot. And then in the 90s, when I was born in 84, but I was really growing up in the early 90s. And I just started loving like Trisha Yearwood and Winona Judd. All that country music is what I still love to put on when I'm in the kitchen because it just kind of takes me right back there. Like I said, music is a lot like food in the sense that the emotion of it transports you right back to where you were when you first heard it or how you felt when you remember, oh, I was cooking, I was mixing up biscuits, listening to I Saw the Light in Your Window Tonight. So that's what's exciting for me, and that's what I listen to in the kitchen. But now you can go listen to all of my music. I did a song called Southern Fried Sass that kind of encompasses the book. It's really cute. It's trending in 27 territories right now, which is huge. And that's so sweet, especially for a song that we've put no music video or promotion or anything behind, just because it was a gift to people who pre-ordered the book. That's why I did it. I did it for them. And now it's out there in the world and people are listening to it. And I kind of love that. And I just recorded. What?
Yeah,
I'm just going to tell you because we're friends. I just recorded, speaking of Dolly Parton, not with her. She was for Christmas. I had to put out a Christmas song. Last year I didn't get to do it, but I had already chosen the song and paid for it and didn't get a chance. So this year I'm releasing what I didn't get to release last year, which is my cover of Hard Candy Christmas by Dolly Parton. It is beautiful. Not just because it's me, mostly because it's me, but not just because it's me. No, it's such a beautiful song anyway. And it's one that, again, it has a lot of side to it for me, a lot of happiness. Even though it's not the happiest song, I do have a lot of happiness associated with it. So I'm excited to share that in the world. And of course, my last album, Double White Diva, which was charted on all of the country charts. Well, I mean, other places too, but we paid attention to the country charts. That's really good. That's out there streaming. Just go listen to it.
Speaking of music, you have a full chapter in this book about your artist.
Yes.
Yeah. Colonel Sanders.
Yes. No, there is an entire my diva was always Tina Turner. Rest her soul. I loved her very much. I love her to this day. And I never realized how similar our lives kind of were, which sounds so funny to say because, on the surface, we couldn't be more different. But when you get down to the nitty gritty of what makes people, once again, we think we have nothing in common and then realize we have a lot more in common than we actually don't. So I have a whole chapter in here called What's Love Got to Do with It? My Obsession with Tina Turner, which beautifully recounts, as one of the many tales in that particular chapter, how at 9 years old, I tracked down Ike Turner's phone number and cursed him out. And immediately got smacked with the phone and grounded for until next week. I am still grounded. So that's a funny story. There's some sad stories around Tina Turner. Not sad, triumphant.
Yeah, triumphant.
Triumphant.
Yeah.
Triumphant. That's a good Southern word.
Triumphant.
So that's one of my favorite chapters, just because of stories to squeeze into one chapter. Reflection. There's a lot of healing in that. So I'm gonna read it. That's your homework. Make one dish from any chapter in the book, then read that and do a 100-word report on my desk by tomorrow.
12 size font.
10.
Oh.
No, I can't see anything. 18. 18-point font.
Okay. Sorry about the lag, if there was a lag real quick.
Sorry, we had a drag lag.
Drag lag. This question is from Mark, Brooklyn, New York.
Sierra K.
K.
Oh, the Christian spelling.
Oh. Mark asks, you first begin doing drag. What led you to that and live it out?
This is my 20th year doing drag. I can't believe I'm only 20. But it's how not even a size 23 anymore. No, it's my 20th year doing drag. When I started drag, it was before Drag Race was a thing. And I remember very vividly, and again, I go into much more detail in the book about the story, but just to give you kind of the Cliff's Notes version, when I first started doing drag, we were lucky if we were working for $25 and 2 drink tickets. I mean, in some clubs, we're still kind of lucky for that. Not going to name names because I don't have to. You've all been tagged in red to filth by the other girls. But we also had to park in a ditch across the street and then run across the highway while people were sitting on the good old boys were sitting on the back of their trucks throwing bottles and all sorts of literally throwing stones at us. It was dangerous. Drag was dangerous, but not in the way they're trying to make it out to be dangerous right now. It was dangerous for us to do, but it was such a creative outlet. I grew up in the theater. I loved everything that I had gotten to do performance-wise at that point, but I was always so jealous of the people who got to play like the strong, powerful women, because I was raised by strong, powerful women. That's what I knew better than anything else in the world. I was like, if anybody knows how to play these types of characters, it's me. So I ended up auditioning for this play. I got cast in the role. It was drag. It took off, and I ended up being a lot better at that than I had ever been. And believe me, I was real good in a lot of these other things, but I was better at playing these women because they were second nature to me. I felt like they really were a part of my soul, that I ended up pursuing drag from there. Like it just seemed like the natural next step for me. And here I am 20 years later. I had no idea I would be on TV, be in movies, be in your phone right now. Ooh, could you filter this, please? But it's nothing I would ever take for granted. It means the world to me that you care enough to be here with me. So thank you.
Oh, well, Ginger, that was all the fan-submitted questions that we had before the live stream started. We are coming up towards the end of our time with everyone this evening or afternoon, or depending on where you're watching. So there are Premier Collectibles does this really fun thing at the end of a live stream before you do your wrap up, where it's 22 questions in 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's do it. I don't know if I can answer one question in 2 minutes.
So, quick answers. Ready?
All right, hold on. Wait. Let me prepare myself. How's that ASMR for you?
Somebody just went, screamed it through their headphones across the building.
Excuse me.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1, where were you born?
Leesburg, Florida.
Who would you want to play in a movie?
Who would I want to play in a movie?
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore.
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Drew Barrymore. No, oh my gosh, who should play me in a movie? Let's come back to that.
What was your first job?
I was a waiter at Denny's.
What is your biggest fear?
Not being understood.
What chore do you hate doing?
All of them.
Who makes you laugh the most?
My husband.
What? What is the one thing you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Milk.
What was your favorite school subject?
Theater.
Who is the most,
Actually, no. Reading.
Who is the most interesting person you've met recently?
Anne Burrell. I meet her tomorrow.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Lying.
What is your favorite hobby?
Cooking.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Dance moms.
Do you have any hidden talents?
My pinky's double jointed, so it makes a fun clicking sound.
What color is your toothbrush?
It's bamboo, so it's wood.
Oh. What is your pet's name?
D-O-G.
What is your favorite word?
Fuck.
What is the last album you bought or streamed?
Dolly Parton's rock and roll album, and it ain't good.
What is the last gift you gave?
A copy of Southern Fried Sass, perfect and available for all gift giving.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cancer. No, I mean, not cancer's not great. So we raise money to fight cancer and to make people living with cancer more comfortable through the Barber Fund. So make sure you go and look that up. I know that's taking a long time to answer that question, but it's important to say, go and check out the Barber Fund. And I know that a portion of the books gets donated to the Barber Fund as well. So you're also donating to a great cause.
What is your greatest achievement?
My greatest achievement, writing this book.
And where do you want to go that you've never been before?
My house. My house. No, where? Loch Ness. I have literally been so close to it so many times, including a couple weeks ago, and I never get the chance to go to Loch Ness.
And that is 22 questions in 2 minutes.
Wait, so now who would play me?
Who would play you?
First of all, who do you think I would play in a movie?
Well, we tried to get you Ursula.
I did try to play Ursula, but I mean, I think I would probably play Divine if they ever had it, or maybe a Louis Anderson. Yeah. Ooh, that's
Danny DeVito.
Love your work. All right, and then who would play me? And don't say Danny DeVito.
Well, if he was still alive, I'd say Louis Anderson.
But he's also 40 years older than I am.
Yeah, but he played great in Baskets, the mom in Baskets.
Champ, I bought an Arby's. Michael said Bruce Valanche. Okay, I love Bruce Valanche. Again, like 30 years older than I am.
Yeah.
Who is playing me? Which means it's got to span at least my whole adulthood.
Your whole.
It's got to span my whole.
Honestly, I don't know.
Who do y'all think in the comments would play me?
We got to wrap up, Ginge. We're getting to that.
I know.
Mark.
I mean, James Corden, but he's also... Is he older than me? Is he? No, I don't think he is.
The one who played Olaf.
Josh
he's older than I am.
So they play young.
What'd you say?
I said James Corden, but nobody likes him.
No one likes him.
I think he's fine.
He is 6 years older than you.
He's 6 years older than me.
Bad.
Yeah, but he's also got to play me when I was in my 20s. Y'all sound off and let me know who should play me in a movie. Because you know what? If we sell enough copies of this book, please buy them all. If we sell enough copies of this book, all you have to do is click that link. If we sell enough copies of this book, I'm sure we'll get a movie or a television deal. And then we'll have to know who's playing me.
Kat Corson said Gidget Galore.
No. No, she's older than me.
Candy Muse. That's what someone said in the comments.
She's not older than me.
But we do have to wrap up.
I know we have to wrap up. You just keep brainstorming this. I think Drew Barrymore should play my mother.
Sure.
I know, but maybe just because I keep thinking, why am I thinking of Drew Barrymore?
We were talking about Drew Barrymore earlier.
Were we?
Yeah, when we were leaving press earlier.
I mean, I like her, but she's not ever on the top of my mind. Like, I don't know. Oh, look, you kids keep me so young. There we go. We'll get Amy Poehler to play me. All right. That's it. I have to get off of here because they're yelling at me for talking too much. My name has been Ginger Minj, and it still is. And it still will be tomorrow. But you can always remember me, my name, and everything about me and my life and my name if you purchase your own copy of Southern Fried Sass. I'm going to sit here and autograph the rest of these. Make sure you click that link, buy yours, and have the happiest holiday season that you possibly can. I love you, and goodbye.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you. So make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching today.